It's mailbag time right here on the show. I am Jake Chipper, answering your guys' questions, reacting to your opinions, your hot takes, everything you all had to say on the Philadelphia 76ers. And look, if you want to get on a future mailbag video right here on the channel, well, guys, you got to be sure to hit that sub button, turn on your notifications, and be sure to check out the community tab of our YouTube page. That is where we always post. We are asking for, again, questions, opinions, and all that and more so you can get on the show. So do not miss the next one. We'll be doing another one here shortly, as we always do. So hit that sub button, of course. And again, be sure to check out that community tab on our YouTube page. But without further ado, let's get right into the questions. And we're going to get started with one from the new DK Sports Gaming, who came in with the first opinion slash hot take of the video. Tyrese Maxey will make an all NBA team. And honestly, I don't think it's too hot of a take. I could easily see a world this season where Tyrese Maxey is a top 15 player in the NBA and does make that rise and that jump to really being a true star, superstar level player. His ascent, really, since he's came into the NBA, is truly, truly amazing. And the numbers, I mean, 17, 20, 26, 26 again points per game. I know the efficiency was down this year. He, of course, played injured a lot. He's really improved his ability as a lead guard, as a playmaker, where I think his natural position is more of a two guard, more of an off ball player. I do expect some of those efficiency numbers to creep up closer to that 37, 38% from three he was at in 2023-24 compared to 2024, 2025. And look, when you look at the way this Sixers team is built, right? Obviously, you got your big three, if you can even still call it that anymore, of Joel Embiid, of Paul George, and of Tyrese Maxey. We don't know what we're getting from Embiid and from Paul George at this point, if they're going to be fully healthy, what kind of players we're going to get. I think we get a big bounce back year from Tyrese Maxey, which is funny to say because he put up good numbers last year, but I think he really helps lead this team back to the playoffs, and in doing so, puts up big numbers, is this team's leading scorer. Might even say he's this team's best player by the end of the season. That might be a little bit hot, but I think with the injuries to Embiid, it's totally fair to say that that could happen, and we could see him earning those all NBA honors. Of course, they're positionless now, so it's just really the top 15 players in the league as voted on by the media members and other people that get those votes. But I really could see a world where Maxey puts up, similar 27 points, 6, 7 assists, a little more efficient from the field. And as long as the Sixers team makes the playoffs, I think he'd almost be a shoo-in to get one of those 15 all NBA spots. Raw footage 215 coming in with our next one. I feel like VJ will be a huge influence to the youth in our community here in Philadelphia. Sort of has that Philly swag in him. Perfect fit, in my opinion. Look, you can say what you want about VJ Edgecombe, the player, if you're a fan of his game. If you're not, if you think he'll be good, if you think he won't. One thing you cannot deny is that VJ Edgecombe is a super high character guy. Just seems like someone you would love to have in your locker room and love to have in your community, right? We know, of course, his upbringing, grew up the way he did, and still persevered to get where he's at now in his NBA career, which is just now beginning. The Sixers in the NBA draft had a plan, right? And that was to set a culture and reset sort of these problems that were arising for Philadelphia. We know they haven't always had the best culture over on the 76ers. So you bring in VJ Edgecombe, you bring in Janai Broome, and man, these two are really going to just help this team become, in a way, more mature, even though they're younger players and just more locked in, more dialed in. And VJ just seems like a great kid, a great person. And from that aspect, like, so happy that he's on this team. Just seems like someone who's going to get along great with all the players. And as you mentioned, raw footage, going to fit in perfectly with this community, giving back to the youth and all that. I could definitely see him making a huge impact in this community, which, look, at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about, is being able to use that platform and make that impact. And I have to agree. I think that'll be perfect for this city. Another one here on VJ Edgecombe from Philly Prod 67. Getting to the basketball side of things here. VJ, this is a prediction. VJ makes all rookie first team and comes second in Rookie of the Year. I think that's a bit of a hot take, especially when you look at the Rookie of the Year odds, and also just when you consider the situation VJ is in compared to some of these other top rookies who might have a little bit of an easier path to putting up numbers right away. Because at the end of the day, that's really what the All Rookie Teams and Rookie of the Year award is all about: is who puts up the best numbers. Nobody cares for this specific award about winning games or anything like that. So even if VJ Edgecombe, among all these teams here, the Sixers win the most games, which not a lock. You have Dallas and San Antonio going to be two really good teams this year. This is the projected all-rookie first team right now based off of betting odds for Rookie of the Year. You can see next to each player's name, I put what DraftKings currently has as their odds to win Rookie of the Year. Of course, Cooper Flagg, the far and away favorite. Dylan Harper at plus 900. Interesting there. Of course, a lot of other players there in San Antonio with Victor Wembanyama and all the talent they have there, but still second in those odds. Ace Bailey third, plus 950. He's going to have a chance to put up a ton of numbers. So I'm not surprised he's above VJ. Even if you like VJ better, Ace is just in a position to put up a lot more shots and put up more raw counting stats, even if he's not going to win a whole lot of games with the Jazz. Kind of similar for Trey Johnson, who's fourth at plus 1,000. Also in Washington, they need guys that can score, that can shoot. He's going to be relied on heavily. And then you get VJ Edgecombe at number 5 at plus 2,000 for Rookie of the Year. Look, just a lot of other players that are going to be scoring the ball and doing a lot of things for Philadelphia, but I still think he can make a huge impact on this team that won't be felt when you're talking about your typical, Rookie of the Year winners, guys who are just putting up bigger numbers and putting up larger stats. Now, I still think he can be an all-rookie first-team member if he's putting up somewhere around 10 points per game and playing really good defense, and if he can be efficient from the field and make some highlight-level plays, he'll have that going for him as well, is that with his athleticism, he can throw down crazy dunks. I'm sure he'll have a couple highlights of him dunking on someone, putting someone on a poster this season. That'll always help getting your name out there in social media as well. But regardless, I think he's going to make a big impact on this team sooner rather than later. Of course, assuming that Nick Nurse and this coaching staff does give him minutes from the jump. We know that isn't always the case with a Nick Nurse coach team, although kind of forced his hand into playing a lot of the younger guys last season. Predict it for me down in the comments. Will VJ Edgecombe make all rookie first team? Going to be tough. A lot of talented rookies that are in better positions than VJ to put up big numbers. But let me know why for yes and for no. Do you see VJ Edgecombe being one of the 5 best rookies this season? That's really what that all rookie first team does mean. Before we get to the rest of our questions, hot takes on the show, real quick, guys, want to keep telling you and reminding you about this great deal at Fanatics. 50% off the Tyrese Maxey City Edition jerseys. Very limited time only. All sizes available right now, but they will not last long because the deal is so great. Marked down from $120 to just $60 for these sick City Edition jerseys for Tyrese Maxey. Chatsports.com/Maxey50 is where you can go to get that great deal and get this jersey. Again, chatsports.com/Maxey50. I'll have that link in the comments section as well as the description of today's show. Cue Elijah Stinson with our final question here. Sixers have a good chance to finish top 3 in the East and make a good run in the playoffs. That is Cue Elijah Stinson's hot take or opinion heading into this season. I also don't think the Sixers finishing top 3 is that hot of a take. Now, people might be overdoing it a little bit, talking about it all this much, but look, I'm going to continue to talk about it because I do believe in this team. The caveat is they have to stay healthy, which we know is obviously a big issue for this squad. So if you want to say that maybe I'm being too optimistic because of the typical health of the 76ers, well, I can't really argue with that there because that is a big worry. But look, even when you go back to the betting odds, the Sixers, right there in the mix of things to the top of the Eastern Conference. Remember, you see the Celtics down here at 5. Of course, they're not going to have Jason Tatum all season as he tore his Achilles. They traded away Drew Holiday. They traded away Kristaps Porzingis, right? So their roster is going to be looking a lot different, really led by Jaylen Brown and Derek White. They traded for Anthony Simons as well. So where are they going to be in the landscape of the East? The Milwaukee Bucks, no Damian Lillard. They obviously have released him now after he tore his Achilles. They bring in Miles Turner, but Giannis, Miles Turner, Kyle Kuzma, Kevin Porter Jr., Gary Trent. Is that a team I'm super, super scared of in the East? No. And neither are the people over in Vegas setting these betting lines. The Cavs and the Knicks, I think, are the two obvious favorites, right? Cleveland going to be a really good regular season team, but how much do you trust them come playoff time? They always seem to fall short, kind of like Philadelphia. And then the Knicks, obviously making it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. They fire Tom Thibodeau, bring in Mike Brown as their new head coach. Going to be running back pretty much the same roster, which is a very, very talented roster. But I'm not looking at the Knicks and saying, man, they're going to dominate the East next season. They're going to run through everybody. I think they can be had. The Magic are an interesting one. Orlando obviously bringing in Desmond Bane in a trade this offseason to fill really their biggest need, which was three-point shooting. One of the worst three-point shooting teams in the league, with Paolo and Franz being their two stars who aren't great three-point shooters. So I love the addition, right? And I love the way their roster is shaking up, also bringing in Tyus Jones. But they're still a young team. We need to see, can Paolo take that final step, really, to become this true superstar who can carry his team deep in the playoffs? Can Franz even get better? How does Desmond Bane fit in there? It's definitely a good team and a team to be worried about. But once again, not a super team that I'm looking at like, man, that's going to be an impossible team to beat in the playoffs. Then you get Philadelphia tied for the fourth best odds to win the East with the Boston Celtics. Look, again, it all comes down to health. It all comes down to what kind of Joel Embiid, what kind of Paul George we get. Can they put it all together finally? If they're healthy and playing at the best of their abilities, they're one of the most talented teams, I think, in the NBA, at least in the Eastern Conference, and really do have a shot. I think they're plus 450, plus 400, or plus 450 to make the Eastern Conference Finals as well. So getting some respect out there. But I think people will be surprised by what Philadelphia can do this upcoming season, as long as they're putting their best foot forward and the health gods are on their side, as you might say. Give me your best guess. The Sixers will finish as the blank best team in the East. First, second, third, 13th again, or whatever they finished at this past season, which was an absolute disaster. Take a guess from me down in the comment section. How optimistic and confident are you in this iteration of this Philadelphia 76ers team? That'll do it for today's mailbag. Again, if you want to get on a future mailbag video, be sure to subscribe and keep an eye out for when we make those community posts asking for some questions and for some comments. That way, you can get featured on the next edition of 76ers Now.